Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good, yo? So, this week's episode is relatively interesting, not only for the simple fact that we didn't get much action in the case of Accelerator doing stuff that most people probably want to see Accelerator do, but we did wind up getting action in the grand scheme of seeing um, this quote unquote God or becoming God absolutely just eating through everybody, which was kind of disgusting. If you ask me, it was kind of gross to watch, but overall, it's not surprising because this show has had or this series in general has always had kind of not like horrible death scenes, but he's done multiple bad things throughout all of this series. Like, we've seen some pretty messed up stuff, so to see this now is not that surprising. Seeing all these people literally just being eaten alive for literally one reason alone, and that reason being for research and for evolution, which is pretty messed up. So the only thing I do want to say is it did feel kind of lackluster, like the episode, just a little bit because of how much exposition we've been getting and getting explained. Like, I pretty much called it last week that it would only make sense that they would go with the route of trying to not only just explain this, but show us, why Accelerator can't do this alone, which was kind of lame, but at the same time understandable because that's pretty predictable for some people. Wow, unlike that right there, I've never seen that happen before. Accelerator showing up, Accelerator winning the fight, Accelerator moving on. It could have been that simple, but they wanted to be this like redemption arc, or at least the story of someone who really feels they're not useful and becoming quite useful in general. So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing like the overall response of this like season, because to be fair, I was enjoying myself for quite some time watching it. So to know that there's probably still a good chance there's going to be more, or that once the real series comes back and we get to watch more of that, that hopefully some of this stuff will be referenced. I let down my guard for 1 second, because it would be really cool to see some of this stuff coming to the light. Like, oh, well, I heard about you doing this, and trying to save some people while you were at it. Any stuff like that is pretty cool, because the real thing that came out of Railgun was just understanding who some of the characters were that she was around, more or less, and those characters then really not doing much else but having more personality. So if that's what they just wanted to do with Accelerator and have the index to have what's her face, the Last Order, being a prominent character like she was throughout the whole entire main series, with the stuff that happens towards her, it's clear as day why they want to make it so it's a time period where he's already met her, but it's not too far in the future to a point where he's kind of reliant on her being around more than we expected him to rely on her. So it's getting really good in the character development, but this story was, I'm gonna say it was kind of, or not this story, but this episode, to continue the build up of the story, was kind of weak. I'm not saying it was a terrible episode or anything like that, but it feels like a lot of this exposition that it was explained just felt a little bit extra, right? Like, it felt like we had a good grasp on what we believe was happening already, and then they kind of just nailed it in the head one more time, right? Like, oh, but what you don't understand, excuse me, but what you don't understand is this person is even stronger than you believe. It's like, oh. So when they said they were becoming a god, they gained that close to that power of being a god. Yeah, that's what we're trying to say. Oh, thank you, because I got that from last week and the week before that. But that's not everybody, right? Some people really do like these extra filling in plot points. Not only that, you still have more of a redemption for this girl kind of just giving up, and Accelerator just trying to take matters in his own hands. So it's a case now of where does the battle actually end? Like, what is the end all be all of the battle? How does this all work out? Does he just cut a hole through and find the main body, and then she pokes the body, and then it's a done deal? Like, what's actually going to happen is the fun part now to watch and see, which I look forward to actually experiencing, because I missed the regular season, and where we left off on there was pretty hype. So to know that this did well and we could be seeing more of this series, or more of like characters from the series, I am pretty excited to see what all transpires. So if you are too, let me know down in the comments below, because this anime has been doing well. I feel like a lot of people have either had their fill of it from reading, and they're just kind of watching to see what it looks like in the animation form, or they really want to see what certain people have to say about what they've seen and stuff like that, to see if there's any type of correlation to the manga, that they felt the same as the people in the anime felt it, or I don't know. There's really cool people out there, and I do truly appreciate hearing your guys' opinions in the comics I was gonna say comics section, in the comment section. And I mean, sure, like, getting likes and subscribes is amazing, don't get me wrong, but knowing that I have people that listen to what I say and then have questions about how I put it, or even just want to not even have questions, they tell me what I said wrong or what I didn't interpretate right. So all that stuff is what this channel is really about, and just being free to say whatever you want, and expect a comic back from me, but if it's just like negative stuff, I don't really feed into that, like, I don't care for it, so it doesn't really get to me. It does to other people, but for me, I'm doing what I'm passionate about. So to just get mad at something I'm passionate about, when someone else is just trying to troll me, or even just say things that they know would maybe trigger me or something, it's funny to me. So just laugh at people that always try to put you in a bad mood and stuff like that, because it's not worth feeding into any of that stuff. So with all that being said, take care of my anime people, and I will definitely try to drop one more video if the other two are already out. If not, this video might come out sooner than others. So with all that being said, peace.